Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ms. Sylvia. Uh, I would first like to introduce Ms. Sylvia to all of you all. Sylvia Guiterrez. She's a WC rep who has graciously accepted our invitation to come and help us with the first latte art championship in India. And I'm sure it's going to be a great event with the enthusiasm I see with all of you all coming in at this early in the morning. And first of all, I need to thank Ms. Gutierrez for staying up so late with the difference in the time zones and helping us with this workshop. This workshop is basically designed to help you all as contestants or participants to understand the rules better, the way we are going to evaluate you for your latte art, which I'm sure Ms. Guiterrez will take you through. To add more to Ms. Guiterrez's credentials, she is an certified Q Arabica and Robusta grader. She is a certified AST trainer, as well as she's the director of the Mexican Specialty Coffee Association, along with which she also runs a not-for-profit organization for women in coffee in Mexico. She's been serving as the WC rep as a judge in the World Barista Championships and the Latte Art Championship since 2009. And we are happy that you've made time and accepted our invitation, Ms. Guiterrez. And we look forward to a great event, the first of its kind for India. But I'm sure there's enough talent here to basically floor you with their latte arts. So with this brief introduction, I would also like to thank the Copy Machines team. They are a corporate body who deal with a lot of brewing machines and other gadgets. They also have a small training center of their own. They have been coordinating with us. We as the government body support these events as the competition body. But however, the organization is from Copy Machines, and they've been exceptionally good so far. And I'm sure with your guidance, we can take it further and raise the bar. So with this brief introduction, I think Vivek, Rasika, I'll hand it over to Ms. Guiterrez. Let's not waste too much time and get straight to it. Ms. Guiterrez, over to you. Thank you.
All right. Hello, good morning. And well, it's a little bit late for me, but I'm very happy to be here. I'm very honored and thankful. It's as Mr. Mandapa say, it's going to be my first time in India, so I'm very excited. And also, I'm super happy because you're having your first Latte Art Championship. I wish I can be there with you in your preliminaries, but it's not possible because I have to work. So I know that it's early for you and you are maybe opening your coffee shops. So I will try to be very, concise. And if you have any question, let me know. I speak Mexican English. So if you don't understand something, you please let me know. Okay. So I will begin if you don't mind. So you can go to your work. I will share my screen. If you don't see it, let me know, please. Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen, Ms. Guiterrez. Thank you.
Okay. So I will have this presentation. So this is a meeting. It's important for you. It's a great opportunity. If you have any question, you can let me share it with me, and it's the best time for clarify any doubt you may have. How is the structure? What we're going to see is the structure of the competition, what the judges are going to evaluate, and so some mistake that you have to avoid because it can happen. And I don't want that you make this and you lose points. So the structure in India will be 3 rounds as long as I understand. And there will be the preliminary that is going to be in this month. And then the semifinals will be in Bangalore and they are bird. And then the finals. Okay. So the preliminary, what are the difference between each other? I don't know how to advance this thing. Okay. So the preliminary round, you have to prepare one pair of free pour and one pair of designers. And for this performance time, you have 8 minutes. For our bar, that will be later, you will have only 5 minutes and you have to present one design. For semifinal, you will have 9 minutes and you have to prepare 2 pairs of free pour macchiatos and 1 pair of macchiatos. And then for the finals, you will have 10 minutes and you have to prepare 2 pair of free pour and 1 pair of design. This is the structure, what you have to present. All of them they have to be accompanied with a great service and hygiene, great technique, not only the design. You have to be very careful with your presence in the scene, in the stage, on the stage. So what we are going to look for you, when we are with you in the stage, is how you master the techniques, not only the pouring technique, but also how you command the machine, how do you use your tools, the grinder, are you clean, are you using the clothes properly, do you understand the rules, etc. We are looking for a barista that is a role model for the community, not only for India, but also for the the world, the coffee world. And then we are also looking for consistency. We don't want Instagram baristas. We want baristas that can perform and prepare your designs consistently. That they are the same, that they are beautiful all the time, not just for the picture, okay? And also that you understand how to make tasty coffee, not only a good-looking beverage. It has to be the two concepts, tasty and good. And this is for supporting the specialty coffee. That's what we are looking. So we are looking for a champion that is, that has a lot of qualities, a lot of skills. Okay, there's oh, my voice is not clear? Okay, I will try to speak slow. Okay. So the scores, there are 2 types of scores. There are numeric scores and yes and no scores. The numerical scores are mainly for the visual score sheet for the visual judges, and they go from 0 to 6, and half points are permissible between 1 and 6. There is no 0.5 and then 1. No, that's forbidden. There is 1.5, that's good, and 2.5, 3.5, that's okay. 0 is unacceptable, 1 is acceptable, 2 is average, 3 is good, 4 is very good, 5 means excellent, and 6 is extraordinary. So you will see a lot of these numbers, and you have to be very used to these equivalences, so you can understand how the judges score you, or score the different concept that we evaluate. And then we have the 0 and the yes and no score that are no for 0, and for yes is a 1. This is mainly used for technical judges. Then we have to understand also the score sheets, what you're going to be evaluated. And you will have 2 visual judges and 1 technical judge. And there will be also a head judge that will be overviewing and taking care that everything is under control. So for the technical judges, you will see in the score sheet that you will have the espresso section. You can use single espressos, double espressos, or ristrettos. It's up to you. You may want to have more coffee color by using a ristretto or a double espresso, or you may have, or you may want to save time by using single espressos and prepare them fast. It's up to you. It's your, your strategy. What are we going to evaluate? I mean, the technical judges that you flush the grub head. It can be before, before you clean your portafilters or just before inserting. It's your style, but you have to flush the grub head. Then you have to dry clean the filter basket before dosing. This has to be a very clean one. You have to really clean it because the technical judge is going to look for that. And if there is some stain or some moisture still in the filter basket, it will be a no. So it's a whole point if you don't clean properly. Then we're going to evaluate. It's not like barista. We don't score like 0 to 6. It's just yes or no. So if you waste more than 5 grams, you will have a 0 in this one, in how, the acceptable spill and waste. So you have up to 5 grams. If you waste less, that's great, but try not to lose more than 5 grams. Your consistent dosing and tamping, there are a lot of techniques that are allowed. As long as you are consistent with them, you will have your yes, no, your 1 point on the espresso section. And then you have to clean the portafilter. It has to be clean. I mean, you can clean the spouts of the portafilters or the rim. I mean, you have to do the motion. It can be with your hand or with a cloth, but you have to clean the portafilter before insert. And of course, insert an immediate brew. It has to be immediate. I mean, you don't need to think and to waste more than 3 seconds. It has to be immediate. So in order to have your yes, no, your score of 1, okay? Then there is extraction time. It has to be 3 seconds between all of the extractions, except the macchiato. And your lattes, the espresso for your lattes has to be at minimum of 20 seconds. And for the macchiato, 15 seconds. Don't lose points by not taking that, that extraction time for lattes and macchiatos. This is very, very important. And then there is the section for milk frothing. It's like barista as well, but you have to have the empty clean pitcher at the start. Be very careful because sometimes there are some, stains or some part of fabric that you maybe don't notice. So be very careful with this. It has to be with no milk on it. The milk will be delivered on site, and you can put it on your your jars or your pitchers, not the one that you're going to use for frothing the milk. But you can put it there in your 5 minutes, not before, okay? You cannot prepare that in the preparation room. You have to purge and clean the steam one before inserting the pitcher and after steaming. Okay, don't forget that, and really clean, because sometimes we just made the motion of cleaning and not really cleaning it. Then we are going to evaluate the clean pitcher and the acceptable milk waste. When we are doing latte art, sometimes the tip of our pitcher touches the surface of the latte. Be careful with that. If that happens, clean it, because it will deduct points if you don't clean your pitcher. And milk waste is 90 milliliters per drink category. Also, if you spare some milk foam for etching, that milk also counts. Okay, take that into consideration. And then we have hygiene. Is you have to have sanitary practices. Don't touch your hair, don't clean your, your sweat, or touch your nose. That's not sanitary. You will have a no if you do something like that. Or and then proper use of the clothes. Don't mix the clothes, especially the one of the steam one. Don't use it for cleaning the bar. And yeah, you have to be very careful with that. Okay. And finally, we have the performance. Well, not finally, before finally, the performance. The technical will look for how you manage your time, how you manage your workspace, if you are organized, if you are cleaning through all your presentation, if there are spills, that you clean them, either milk or water, that you clean them properly. And in overall impression is how you feel on the stage with the tools and the equipment that you are using. If you understand how the espresso machine works, and also the grinder is very important. The technical judges will evaluate if you understand how to extract the espressos by calibrating your grinder. If you don't achieve the extraction times within 3 seconds, they are going to deduct some points, okay? Also, if you achieve the volume that is needed for the espresso, and also the times that you are extracting 20 or 15 seconds for macchiato. Also that you didn't put any milk or anything on the machine, like the dyeing. It's also, if it's liquid, that is not on top of the machine. And also that you understand how the steam one works. If you open it properly, if you are not doing a mess with the milk, that is also something that the technical judge will judge in overall impression. Is there any questions here? Are you listening me?
You guys have any questions? किसी को कोई सवाल है?
No, Rasika.
Okay. Well, I will continue. Then we have the visual scores. The first concept that the judges will evaluate is two identical patterns matching the presented picture. There, you have to present a picture to compare of your designs, to compare the designs between them and with the picture. So it is very important that you present that that picture. It has to be a picture, not a design, not a drawing, and it has to be printed. You cannot take a tablet, you cannot present an iPhone or something like that, okay? And this is for you to demonstrate the skills in replicating an intended pattern. I mean, we are going to evaluate how consistent you are with your technique, that you can replicate and make the same pattern many times. In this case, both judges evaluate the patterns. Is the only moment that they are sharing the same beverage for evaluating. And then after that, the judges will only evaluate their own cup. So, and this concept is not about the quality of the pattern, but how similar they are. So if your pattern is not nice, it's okay, don't worry, but they have to be the same. For example, we have these two. Imagine that there is a printed picture here, but how can you tell? Can you tell that they are similar? Someone can answer.
They are not the same, they are similar.
They are similar, they are not the same, but they do have some elements that are similar, right? You can see that it's a rose, and the base is there, and the leaf. But if you look and pay more attention to the details, you will see that these leaves are very different. Also, this base of the rose is also very, very different. These also leaves are like, in this side are smaller than this one. and the rosetas on the base are totally different. So they look very similar. Do you think that this pattern is excellent in terms of identical, sorry? Do you think that is excellent? Do you think it's
No.
very good?
No, the one on the left-hand side is a little more clearer and a little more sharper compared to the one on the right.
Yes, and that making it like, just very good or good?
No. It's neater compared to the other, but it's definitely not the excellent one.
It's not excellent, but it can be very good
It can
or
be
just good?
average.
Average, okay. What the
I
other
would-
things? Yes,
I
let
would
me
say
know.
it's good. It's a complicated design, so it could be good.
It could be good. At least I think it could be good. I think the judges will score like good plus, because most of all the elements are there. Maybe not exactly, but they are very similar. So it's not excellent because some small details, that's why it's not a 5. But the judges will score you around 3.5 or 3. Okay, so try to do these patterns. I mean, it's very difficult to achieve a 6, an extraordinary, but try to hit that score. Then we are going to, the judges will also evaluate. Wait a second. Okay. The visual foam quality. I don't have a good picture because I'm not sure if it's going to show properly, but what we're looking as judges of the quality of the foam is that are bubble free, both from the milk and also from the espresso. No bubbles should be present. It has to be smooth and glossy and rich consistency. No mate, no dry foam. I mean, that can lower the points that you can achieve. The more shiny, the better. The more compact, super scores you're going to have. Then we have a contrast between ingredients. We are not going to evaluate the intensity of the dark, of the coffee, but how sharp are the patterns. In this case, in the pattern that is on the left, and it's a little bit, how can I tell, clear, the coffee color, but also there are a lot of blurring. If you see this base, it's a lot of blurring here, and also this on the base is super stained as well here, and the rosetas are very blurred. There is some definition here on the center, but not enough, especially this part. What do you think? Do you think that it will score like good in terms of contrast? Do you think it's a good contrast for the cup of the left?
I think average to good, somewhere in between.
Yeah, I think there is a way still for getting a good, because there is a lot of blurring and confusing patterns. Like here, we are not sure that it's a rosetta or it's a slow pour. So I think it can be an average, because it's somehow, there is some contrast, but it can be an average. The judges will understand that it's an average. I think they will score like that. Do you agree?
Yes.
Or I'm too harsh? It's not good. It has to be more, there should be less blurring. And that in this case, there is also some blurring, but you are able to see more patterns. Don't judge the bubbles, because this image has been standing for some time, but you are able to see that is, the lines, the drawings with the lines are kind of clear. Of course, not perfect. If you see the center, the inner part of the wolf, there is a lot of blurring. the you know, the legs are also some blur on it. So do you think this one, the one on the right is better, right?
Yes,
So it's
compared to the one
good.
on the left, it's much better.
Yeah, so it's not a 2. So what do you think? Is it's good, good plus, or very good?
I think it's
Or
good.
it can be just good.
Yes, good. I think it's a 2.5 for me.
4.5?
2.5, 2.5.
2.5, almost good.
Almost.
It can be, if we're giving to this one 2, then to this one, it can be higher, a little bit higher, half a point or 1 point, okay? So this is what we are scoring in terms of contrast. That is, that there is no blur, that the ring is not spotted, you know, that the coffee color is there, and there is a sharp contrast between white and coffee. Not the intensity of the coffee, of the brown, but the sharpness of the lines, and that you can identify the pattern that the barista used. Now, we have the harmony, size, and position of the pattern. We have harmony, that is one concept, is how the image looks, how well the image looks in the cup, the size of the image in the cup, and the position of the pattern. We are also looking for symmetry if there is room for symmetry, okay? So in the case of the one of the left, we have a pattern that use the space that is harmonic to some extent and is well positioned, right? There is no, like, you know, you don't see it crooked, you don't see move to the left or to the right. It is kind of aligned to the handle at the 3 o'clock, okay? And in this case, we see a pattern that is not really harmonic. You see a lot of things in the cup. It's very big for the cup. There is no room for, you know, this harmony pattern or elements. This one has a lot, like just for, you know, cover the space, but they don't look well. They don't look harmonic. And also, if you see the head is kind of large for the rest of the body. So all these concepts or all these elements are going to be evaluated by the judges. If they look well, if they look according to if they fit to the cup, okay? And this is beautiful, right? And you can also analyze each of the elements to analyze the symmetry. If we see this one is not that symmetric as this one, right? This one is more symmetrical than this one. But that's the only point. If you see these rosetas, they are not really symmetrical. But I think the one on the left is more harmonic and very well positioned, and the size is appropriate to the cup. So what do you think for the one on the left, which will be the score? Do you think is excellent, the harmony, the size, and the position of the pattern? Or do you think it's just very good? Or just good?
For me, it's a very good in terms of the, yeah.
What do you think there's need, I mean, the barista should do for a higher score? What is missing?
In terms of the position of the cup, I think it needs to be a little more centered for me. And the crema is more available on the left than on the right. So you can see more foam in 3/4 of the cup, and in the 1/4 it's missing.
Yes, it's a little bit moved to the, I mean, how do you say? There are more things happening on the top of the cup than in the bottom. And
Right.
in this, yeah, so, but it's still very good, very good, very good plus, why not? It can be that score. And in this case, what is the score for the one on the left, on the right? Do you think it's a very good one? Like this one? It
Uh,
has less, right?
I think compared to the left one, it's like an average because it's not centered uh, towards the handle.
Uh-huh.
And there's just too much going on. Like there's less of crema, more of foam.
Yes, exactly. There are many things, that many elements that remove some harmony of the pattern, and also is more concentrated on the top and also on the left, right? It's not moved, it's not tilted, but it's not as very good as this one.
Which
Yes.
one is good? This one, huh?
Sorry.
Can I request all of you all to please mute your mics? Thank you.
Okay, so it's not very good. The one on the right, right? It's more on the average plus, maybe.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, let's move forward. And then we have the same patterns. Let's analyze in a different concept. We also evaluate successfully achieved and the level of difficulty. We're looking for designs that are complex, but that are well executed. Not say designs, but I mean, the barista has to do some effort. So do you think these ones are difficult? They both are difficult, right? We have, how many patterns we have here? We have a tulip, 1, 2, 3, 4 tulips. That is more complicated than this one. We have rosettas for the body and the tail. And we have also rosettas for the body and the tail. We have more rosettas than in this one, but not very well executed. And the drops, right? The drops here. And we have the lines, the slow pour for the slow pouring and the dry foam for the head, in this case, and for the tail as well. So they have similar elements. This one I think is more difficult and better achieved. I mean, it's more success, the pattern than this one. Okay. So considering all the patterns that it's using, they are clear, that you can see that is a sequence and that is harmonic. Which one do you think is the best one? Of course, the one on the left, right?
The left one.
Mm-hmm. So it's 1, 2 rosettas and 1 tulip that is great and good looking. So do you think it's a very good in terms of difficulty and successfully achieved?
Yes, I think it's
excellent.
good.
Okay. I think it's very good. No more, because there are more elements that can be added that are difficult and increase the difficulty, but I think it's successfully achieved. You will see less complex designs, but very well executed, that are also going to earn some more points. Okay, this is another concept that we evaluate. And finally, we have the overall appealing impression. That is like, the judges are going to evaluate as a customer, not as a judge, a skilled judge. It's like a customer. It's the wow effect. It's how the image impacts the judge. They will also evaluate how creative is your pattern. We are going to see a lot of seahorse. I hope you have more than just seahorse. But if you have it, just do it right. But we want to see some creativity in the patterns. And also we are going to evaluate if you are doing something more, that you are pushing the boundaries in latte art techniques and skills. If you create a new technique, that will be a plus in your overall appealing impression. And also, free pour is highly recognized. If you can create your designs with only free pour, that will be great. If you are using etching, don't abuse of the etching. I mean, try to do most of the image with free pour. Don't abuse of the colorant and also the etching. Okay. And then we have the professional performance, that also something that the visual judges evaluate. And yes, you are preparing latte arts. We are not expecting speech, but we are still want to communicate with you and being engaged with you. So we are going to evaluate your service skills, how fair you are, your hygiene, the technique you are showing with when you are pouring your milk, how you prepare the coffees, how you use the tools, if you are using properly in front of us, how you manage your time. Sometimes the time is very short, so you rush, no? And you share that rush with the judges. So that's something that we evaluate also in professional performance, and also your workflow. If you are going to the machine and then coming and going and coming, or dancing, almost dancing because you are very nervous, we are going to evaluate that in the professional performance as visual judges. The head judges don't evaluate anything. They are just there for supporting the judges, for supporting you and the technical judges, and to oversee that there is no problem happening. My recommendation of things that I've seen in many competition is avoid these basic mistakes. Please manage your time. Remember that you have for preliminaries 8 minutes, for semifinals 9 minutes, and for finals 10 minutes. It looks like a lot, but if you are overtime, you will lose a lot of points, especially in the finals. We see many competitors that are not in the finals because they went overtime, not because they are good, not because their skills, it's just because they are overtime. So be very conscious of that if you go over, I mean, you can be 2 minutes before being disqualified, but you are going to lose points, a lot of points that can refrain you or put you away from the final. So manage your time. That's my recommendation. Also, present the beverage in order: free pour, designer, free pour, and macchiato, or free pour and designer, as in the rules is mentioned, and also in the score sheet. Because if you present in different order, you can be punished. And also, especially if you are using etching, that's a super big mistake. So don't try to be creative and present first the macchiato or your designer, because you will have a lot of zeros on your score sheets. So be aware of that your performance is organized and you present the beverage in order. Please do not forget the print picture. It has to be printed. As I mentioned before, don't use your iPhone or your cell phone. Don't use a tablet. It has to be a printed, and it has to be a picture, not a drawing. It has to be a printed picture of your designs. There is no room for mistakes because the time is very short. If you don't control your presentation, and if you don't practice, there's room for mistakes. And if you have one mistake, you will lose time. So practice, 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 and manage your presentation. Also, my recommendation is that you make a list of your tools, because I've seen many baristas that forget the tamper, they forget the clothes, they forget the etching tools, they forget the pictures. And if you have a list, you reduce the room for mistakes, for missing things. So if you have a coach, make him or her to review the list before going to the stage. Also, be on time, don't rush. If you arrive late, you will be stressed. And the last thing that you want to have in your performance is to be nervous, to be stressed, and shaking hands. No, you have shaking. So be on time. Don't be late. Okay.
Sorry for late.
Excuse me.
Sorry for late joining.
Sorry, I didn't understand your comment.
No, that's okay, Ms. Guiterrez. You can continue. You just joined a little late.
Okay.
Okay, joined.
Okay. So another recommendation I can give you is that you already, I think you know the grinder that you're going to use. Understanding, if you understand the grinder, if you are able to practice before, it's super important that you calibrate fast, because you only have 5 minutes for making the calibration, the final calibration of your grinder. And if you don't calibrate your grinder, you will have problems during your 8, 9, 10 minutes. And the technical judges will notice that. So really understand your grinder for extracting the espressos for your lattes. Also, use your practice time. The organizer will give you some practice time. Some baristas decide not to use it. It's not wise. You can use your practice time to understand how the machine works on the stage, how how it adapts to different pressure, to the climate of Bangalore, to the pressure, to the moisture. Use that practice time for understanding how you're going to be on the stage, what are your tools, how you're gonna manage the space. And if you arrive late, there won't be any extra time, because the schedule can be very tight. So be on time and really use your practice time. It's a great strategy. Also, it's very important that you communicate with the organizers. If you are, for some reason, late, that is valid, of course. Let the organizer know, because otherwise we're not going to be able to help you, and you can be disqualified if you arrive late. If you don't tell the organizer what happened. Also, if you notice that, for example, a volunteer is not doing the job properly, is not taking the time appropriately, tell the organizer on time, not after the competition finished, because we can jump in and solve the problem in the moment. So communicate with the organizer is super important. You are not alone. The organizer is there for you. Also, I know that you have to work, and that you can be very busy, and maybe you have your shift that day. Try to schedule the days for the championship, because you don't know if you're going to go to the next round, or if there are some delays in the schedule. It's better that you schedule the whole day for being there, for enjoying the competition, for sharing with the other baristas, for visiting the show. So try not to work that day. That's my recommendation. Be there and enjoy your time. Also, in the rules, there's some right that you have is the technical time. You have to understand it. If you have a problem, just raise your hand and say technical time, but understand how and when to use it. Because otherwise, you will have problems and no one is going to help you, because you are not using that technical time if appropriate. Don't abuse of the technical time. And make sure that you are saying time loud for the score for the timekeeper. Time is points. So make sure that the volunteer that is recording your time and is doing the job, so you don't lose some points. And a basic mistake is that you don't attend to the debrief. It's super important. If you want to grow, you have to go to the debrief. Maybe you are sad because you didn't make it. Maybe you are angry or you feel disappointed, but go to the debrief, talk to the judges, and understand why you are not in the finals or in the semifinals, or you are not the champion. That means a lot to you. It's there for you. The debriefing is for you. Do you have any questions so far or any comments? No?
किसी को कोई सवाल है?
Okay. So
No.
let's move. And you have to be very aware of the disqualification that you can, don't have that don't put your on risk of being disqualified. So serve the whole drinks, the whole category of drinks before serving the next one, because otherwise you are going to be disqualified. If you spill some, okay, recover and prepare the other cup and serve that before moving to the next category. Don't put any liquid on top of the machine. You can be disqualified, or you can have a 0 in overall impression in the technical score sheet. Don't make any change, adjust, or damage the machine. It's very important. In barista, at the world level, you can adjust the temperature, etc. In this competition and in a national level, you cannot make any change or adjustment. Sometimes the baristas want to change the basket size because more coffee can be put on the basket. You cannot do that. You cannot change any portafilter, anything. You have to use the espresso machine and take care of it. If you are not present at competitors meeting, that's also, you can be disqualified if you don't say anything before, or is there no reason for you to not be present. You have to be at least 45 minutes minimum before your 5 minutes of prep time. If you are not on time, you can be disqualified as well. Don't go over time, please. You cannot put any equipment, furniture, anything directly on the floor or beneath or below the machine table or the judges table. You cannot put anything on the floor. No coaching is allowed. If you forgot some accessories, you have to brought by yourself. Nothing can be brought by others. So be careful of that. If you forget something, you have to wait for permission. And when the head judge says, okay, you have to go. If someone brings to you, like the tamper or something like that, you can be disqualified, okay? So don't put you on the risk of losing your effort. Then the 0, you can have many zeros if you don't pay attention. If you don't have the picture or it's not acceptable, you will have a 0 in 2 patterns identical. It's just a 0. If you present the lattes that are identical but not with a picture, it's a 0. Okay, don't put you on that risk. If the drink doesn't match the picture at all, that you make a mistake and present another drink, it will be 0 in the whole visual score sheet. Don't do etching on the free pour lattes because that's a 0. And also try not to do etching with your picture, because somebody does put the tip of the picture inside the milk and draw with that. So that can be considered etching. It depends on the severity of that, of that movement. If you're using food coloring for your design or any flavoring the drink, just make sure that is not mixed with the milk. and you can use only one color. If you are using that, I mean, more than one color, you will have a 0 in all visual scores of that category. If you are using coffee and milk that is not the one provided by the organized, it will be 0, both in technical and visual. And also, if you are not using the official cups in your stage performance, you will have 0 in visual. You only can use your cup in art bar. That's the only way the only moment that you can use your own cup. But you have to use the official cups both for latte and macchiato. And in our bar, if you are using like a cookie or a flower or something that is not allowed, that it will be considered as exterior cup decoration and it's not acceptable. And also, if you are using a not acceptable cup, if you are want to be very creative, like using a shoe for putting your latte art, that's not acceptable, and you will have a 0 in our bar. And if you go overtime in our art bar, you will have 0 in art bar. So be very careful with your 5 minutes for art bar. Then you can have some deduction. I mean, be careful with that. If you bring some decoration that is not required, you will have a lower score in professional performance. You can have saucers, that's okay, that accompany your cups. And you can use your menus. But don't bring any tablecloth, don't bring napkins, don't bring water, don't bring spoons. That's non-required decoration. So you don't need to bring anything else than your tools. And also you will have deduction if you have a lot of blurred lines in contrast, and also if you intend to make a difficult patterns but you fail, that can deduct some points of your performance. How can you prepare for the competition? It's important that you make a daily schedule for practicing. I mean, you have to work, you have to study perhaps, you have to do your things at home, but also save some time for your practice. And be very strict with your times. That's my recommendation. Don't let it to the last minute. Make an agenda and stick to it. Like when we are doing exercise, resting is important. Don't overwork, because you're going to arrive tired to the competition. You will be already tired when you are competing, and that's not nice. You won't enjoy if you are tired. Be yourself, be original, don't copy. Try to make your own, your own style, your own lattes, your own designs. For your routine, try to practice all the routine. I mean, like separate, like tier all the parts of the routine. Practice a lot of the steaming, the espresso, the pouring, when you put the milk in another jar, when you're splitting the milk. Practice all that small details and then put it together so you can have a solid routine, and you manage and you can do all your routine properly. Also record your progress. If you have a schedule, you can know how you are progressing in your training. Stay healthy, eat healthy, stay hydrated. It's very important to take care of your body. And there are a lot of emotions when you're competing. Have someone to talk with, okay? And well, there are some questions here that I don't understand. Yes, of course, I can send you the PPT, of course, no problem. When you are competing, of course, you're going to be nervous. Try to breathe and to enjoy the moment. there can be delays or changes on the agenda. That's normal. Be flexible. Organizers are doing the best effort. So yes, please be flexible and be there for the competition. Share the excitement. There will be an award ceremony. Be there, share, scream, have fun. And then another thing that I want to tell you during competition, the volunteers are not responsible. You are the one that is responsible of your competition, and also the judges. But the volunteers are not responsible of your time, of your tools. If you have a glass jar, you are responsible of that. The volunteers are not really responsible. So be aware of that. And debriefing, be at the debriefing, and also share experience and learn from others the styles and techniques that you can implement and use. And remember, the judges are also volunteers. They are on your side. You and them are belong to Team India. They are not there for making you feel bad and to judge you bad and to harm you. It's part of the Team India. Okay. Arrive on time, look for volunteers. When you are there, look for a volunteer or the manager and wait to be assigned to a table, and you wait their card for setting up. Okay. Someone is going to assign you a table and you have to be there ready. Once you're ready, then you are going to be conducted to the sound system. If there will be, I don't know, and to put, the mic. And then you will be directed to your competition station. The volunteers are going to give you an unopened milk and around 2 to 3 liters for your competition. And the station will be shown. And if you accept that is clean and is ready, then you can go and start your preparation time, your 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes ends, you must stop and you cannot touch anything and you have to leave the area. When the judges are there, you can begin your presentation time. If you miss something on your card, you can go during your presentation. Of course, you have to notice to the head judge, and you cannot ask anyone to bring your missing things. And then after finishing, you will be helped to remove your utensils or your things, so the volunteers can clean the machine for the next competitor. And then enjoy the competition and wait for the award ceremony or for the announcements of the final. If you win, there are something that you have to be aware. Once you win, you have to be in contact with the organizers, especially for knowing what are the things that you can do and you cannot, or you shouldn't. Talking to media or giving courses or things like that, you have to be very aware that you are not breaking any rule. So be in touch with the organizer once you are a champion. You are the champion of, for example, in this case, you are the champion 2023 champion, but you always be the champion. So don't forget that. It will mark your future. So you will be always a champion. It is important that you make a budget. One thing is to win in the nationals, and another thing is being the champion. So make a budget for the expenses that are not covered by the competition body. The competition body only gives you the trip expenses, the flight, the meals, the hotel while you are competing. But if you want to buy, a very fancy picture, that has to be covered by you, and you have to have a budget. It's important to consider that. All your papers, visas, and other documents needed for your participation, have in mind that you will have to pay for that. Also, it's important that you look for a body in the place where the competition will be held, so they can guide you where to buy milk for practicing, where you can train. That's very important. You will be sent a link for your registration as a competitor. If they don't send you, you have to look for it on the webpage. Don't leave it to the last minute, your registration. Otherwise, you can lose your spot in competing. That's super important. And also, be familiar with the referral process. If you are having a problem, you have the right of ask for a referral, that you cannot compete that year, and that you can move that when you are competing on that year, you can move it to the next year. But in some cases, not because you don't want. I mean, the referral is something very specific. And also, once you win, look for information of the sponsors. This year will be, if I don't, okay, it will be the racer, the San Remo racer. And I don't remember the grinder, but be familiar with the machines and the grinders you are going to use in the championship, in the world level. And also, if you can buy the cups, the official cups, buy them. It's good to practice with the official cups that they are going to use. That I think it's ceramics. And also make your road plan for the competition, when you are going to train, and if you are going to hire some other champion that can train you, if you have the money, do it. And when you are going to buy your items, if you are going to travel for a coffee show or another competition for learning more, make that road plan once you win. And also, very important, share your knowledge. And I think that's all for me. If you have any questions, let me know. You can also write me, and I will be available.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. I just have one small request. If you could just go back and tell them what a free pour latte is, what a designer latte is, since there are a lot of them who are first timers. If you can just explain that free flows just with a pitcher and milk, just to give them a little more insight, and the flow basically. I'm just asking you to go back again, but just for the benefit of the participants.
Okay, free pour latte is when you use, where you are just using the picture for drawing. Okay, like this. This one is just free pour latte. There is no other tool for drawing. It's only by using the picture for drawing these tulips and the rosetas. That's the only. It's free pour, no other tool. And in this case, if you notice, there is, maybe it was I don't know, something. I don't know which technique the barista used. Perhaps just, I don't know, like a spot with the free pour, but it's using a tool. It can be a latte art tool, a professional one, or a spoon, or it can be, a needle, anything that can use for drawing these kind of lines. This is made with etching. So it's not made with the pitcher, with the milk and the pitcher.
Miss Sylvia,
So-
we have a machine which is on standby. If you want, we can share it on video as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want me to remove my screen?
Yeah, Prithvi, can you just start your camera, please?
Yes.
You can show the free pour first.
Perfect.
So what he just did now is a free pour latte. There is nothing but coffee and milk. There are no tools used in order to pour the latte. So you have to serve 2 of these first.
We are making another etching. So this is basically what etching is, that you are using a tool to create a design on the latte.
Miss Sylvia, are we going about this correctly?
Excuse me?
Are we going about this correctly? We just have to serve 2 of each, right?
Yes, it has to be a pair.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if you're going to present the pig, I mean it's a pig, right? Yes, and you have to present 2 pigs, and this will count as your designer. So it had to be the last one that you present. If you're going to present a free pour, which is the tulip, that is going to be your first, and you have to present two of them, a pair, and then your designer, if you are using etching. And also you can use some color, but not a lot of color, just one color and just for details. And that's it. Okay.
Anything additional apart from milk and coffee cannot be like a base. It can just be on the top if anyone wants to add any element, and it can just be one color.
Yes, only one on the top. It shouldn't mix to the milk, to be mixed on the milk.
So guys, you cannot steam with color or any food coloring. It can just be used maybe with the help of a etching pen or a latte art pen, just on top of your latte. It cannot be part of the espresso or part of the milk.
Exactly.
And Ms. Sylvia, just to make it clear, we are only assessing on the technical and the visual skills. There are no tasting of anything, right? I'm just repeating the questions people are sending me on WhatsApp.
Yes, no, it's not. It's fortunately judges don't have to take the coffee because it will be a lot of milk and by the end of the day it will be a disaster. You will have to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? No one has any questions around what is going to be happening at the preliminary round?
Oh, just one question from my side. Sylvia, yeah, this is Hariom here.
Yes.
Like color things. So color, if somebody is after frothing the milk and they are putting the pitcher and then they are using that color, that's okay, I think. One color
I'm
only.
sorry. I'm not listening.
Like after frothing the milk, if somebody is
Uh-huh.
putting color on the froth of, on the foam of the milk and then they are using, so that's I think allowed.
It's allowed. It's not. There is no problem. But as long as it doesn't mix on the milk, it stays on the. I mean, on the foam and on the surface, and then you can draw with that. There is no problem.
Okay, that's correct. And second thing, this color, there is no restriction. Any color they can use. That's their
Any
choice.
color.
That would be
It's your
food color.
choice, yes.
Food.
But you can use only one color.
Okay.
You can
Second
use
thing,
only
this
one color.
time that there is one like a while performance for performance is happening. So do we need to give the alerts for the time, or that's a performer responsibility to take care of his own time?
Hariom, it's there in the rules. You have to give the time. Yeah. You have to indicate the time at every 3 minutes, 1 minute. That's what he's asking, Sylvia.
Yeah, and the volunteer will tell you when you left. You have 3 minutes left, 1 minute left, and 30 minutes left. And in the finals, 5 minutes left and 3 minutes. You can ask anytime you need what is your time left. So if you want to know if you are 3 minutes or 2 minutes, it's okay, you can ask. And if you need like exactly when a specific time, when, for example, if you want to know when you are left 2 minutes, you can ask the volunteer, but ahead. You can tell them before you start your competition.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else has any questions? Okay, Ms. Sylvia, I think we're good. In case anyone reaches out to me throughout the day, I'll answer whatever information is available with me, or we can cover that tomorrow as well.
Sure. I'm sorry. I'm super tight today because I had a training, so I'm a little. My mind is a little bit foggy. So I'm sorry if you didn't understand.
So they're the same.
You can ask us. You can send the question to Rasika, and I will be very happy to answer them. And I will send you the PPT, of course.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
And I hope to see you all of them. The best of the luck.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sylvia, for taking time out. We'll again have a session tomorrow. Sorry, we'll trouble you for 2 or 3 days with these workshops. But I think it's very important that the participants understand the rules. And we thank you again. And I think you should get some rest.
Yes. It's not late, but I've been studying all day. So
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rasika and the copy machines team, we thank you again for putting all this together. And all the contestants, all the best. And we look forward to a good event. Please, if you have any clarifications, please write to Rasika or to me, and we will have it clarified from Ms. Sylvia. And we can get back to you. And we wish you all the luck. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Rasika, anything else? Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah, that's all I have to also say. Just practice and don't be in doubt. Like if you have any questions, we are available on all like major social media platforms. This email is not your game. And we'll be more than happy to clear all the doubts. We have created regional WhatsApp groups in order for you to communicate with us directly. So don't stay in doubt, clear whatever there is to clear and keep practicing.
Exactly. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you, everybody.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.